Hey there, guys. This is Yakkin with Nick. I am Nick Hazelton, your host, and we're going to talk about the meaning of life today, which is a crazy, hard-hitting thing. It's like, what does a 19-year-old yak farmer know about that? Well, I know a little bit. Excuse me. I think I know a little bit. Okay. So starting off this topic is, what is the meaning of life? Well, it's kind of like we're asking the question, we're trying to find the answer to why are we here and what are we doing here? Not necessarily how did we get here, but why and what's the point? And there are different ways of looking at this. I think it really kind of stems off of, do you believe that a creator put an inherent meaning into the universe, or they had a reason for creating us and it and the rest of this reality, or not, right? Either there is a reason why this universe was created, or there isn't. Could have been just God decided, fuck it, let's create this thing. Who knows? Or it could be that there is no God and it was never created by something for a reason, or it really was that God said, you know what, I want human beings to exist in this reality for this reason, or I want these planets to swirl around in 3D, four-dimensional space, because it's like 3D is like the space and then time, right? They're moving through time. So whatever, fucker. It doesn't matter. That's where it kind of starts off. What happened there. None of us really know, right? You can't go back to the beginning of the universe and see if there was a God, or ask God, hey, what's going on? Or why did you do this? Maybe you have a relationship with God now and can ask him now, but what if the fucker's lying to you? Huh? I don't know, man. so I'm just joking. So it's very hard to determine what is the reasoning, and if you have a religion, you can pull it out of there. If you have the communication with God, which would be those religious ideals, I would think, you have an answer. But I want to start off, because this has always been my position when I've looked at this question, is kind of the existentialist position, which is there is no inherent meaning in the universe. So that means you really get to create it. Like, it comes down to, like, with nihilism, my exploration was, it's like, do I exist? Well, I can't logically prove it. And do I have a meaning? Well, I can't logically prove that there's a meaning, but look at here. It seems like I exist. I might as well. I have all these feelings. I have this experience with, I'm seeing shit in front of my eyes. I'm hearing things. I am smelling things. Like, something's happening here, and even if it isn't, might as well be, right? It's sort of the same thing with, I think, finding meaning. It's like, well, maybe you don't need, like, where am I going with that? I think that was a stupid metaphor. I was like, sometimes I have like a thought in my mind and I go down a path and I forget where I'm going, and then I come up to the end of it and I'm like, where was I supposed to be going? And I try to pursue it even more, and it doesn't work always. So that didn't work. Where was I going? I forget. So, I mean, it's like, yeah, so there might as well exist. Yeah, I don't know if that really applies to existentialism. I don't think it does. But we move on. It's like, yeah, what am I supposed to be doing here now that I exist? You kind of look at, well, what do I have? You have some instincts, you have feelings, you have senses. You can find things that are good and bad, like that are pleasurable to you and unpleasurable to you, and you can kind of decide, well, let's make most of this existence pleasurable if we can. Let's strive for that. And then there you go. You found a meaning of life. You're here to make life better for yourself, or for whoever. That's where I started out with. That's kind of the foundation of my philosophy that I've explained through narco-yakidalism, and basically, if I could explain it, yeah, it's like that's the foundation of I guess what that would be, or at least what it used to be. My opinions have changed slightly on this, and we'll get into it later. But that's kind of it, right? It's sort of the hedonist approach, where, yeah, life has no inherent meaning, but certain things feel good, so let's do those things. And to me, that makes a lot of sense. If there is no inherent meaning, then fuck yeah. yeah, what else do here? Like if God isn't going to tell me what to do, then I'm going to tell myself what to do, and I'm going to make it what I want, because it's the freedom. That's the power you get. You essentially are God of your meaning, right? Under this viewpoint of existentialism, and that's quite powerful, I think. But that's it. And what are the consequences of that? I think that there are some consequences, though, some negative consequences, that is. Because if you look at it like you're really creating your own thing here. And if really all you are is you, if you really are kind of an individual, then maybe that's all that matters, because it's all that exists. And if you are like, but like, I feel like some people like try to, including myself, try to attach more than there is for whatever reason. I don't know. We'll get into that again in a little bit. But if really it is nothing apparently exists except me and the world I can sense, this is really how we break it down. It really just comes down to your understanding of the world. There become like that's I think that view is fine if it's accurate, right? But I think there becomes a problem if you are not really an individual, and this reality isn't how you look at and sense it. It all changes, right? If those aren't true, if there's a God and he had an inherent meaning, it obviously changes that. If you're not truly an individual, it changes that. Does that make sense? Like, maybe I'm using the word individual poorly. This is not the right term I could use. I guess if that's it, if that really is just it, this worldview works out. But if there is God, but if there is more to you than just senses and feelings, this changes it. There might be more to it, at least. So if you are more than, it's like, what are you then? If there's a God and he had a reason for creating this, then there obviously is a meaning. If you are more than this, and you can actually either use your senses or use... That's it. That's really our irrational skills, or you find some other tool, perhaps, that shows you differently. Those things would change this. And for me, it at least potentially could change it. And for me, like this is the position I've always held is kind of nihilist existentialism, and that I create my own meaning, and it might as well have something to do here, so I'm going to do it. But I think that there came up, I don't know, I'm extrapolating my ideas from onto the past, from now onto the past of where I'm trying to explain this, of my intellectual path on this topic. But I already explained kind of the beginning. But recently, over the summer, my mind has changed a bit. I've been studying some of Jordan Peterson's work, and I really like him on kind of the nature of what is reality and what are you doing here. And he makes a lot of sense to me. I like the way he explains it. It's a little bit more complicated than what I laid out for you. It's, life is kind of is bringing chaos into order, making life orderly and controlled. This is kind of the best thing you can do for yourself, and it's true whether or not. But he kind of makes an argument that there is, I don't know what he does, but some people I know that listen to him would make the argument, it's that there is God, and that we're I don't really get that point beyond that. Like, why did God put us here? But for some reason we're here, and we're struggling and dealing with this limited existence for whatever reason. Where am I going with this? I forgot where I was going with this. I guess I'm trying to say is that my opinion is shifted more. Like Jordan Peterson by himself doesn't necessarily change the existential part of it, of that there is no inherent meaning. But he gets into this idea of the ancestors didn't like this idea, and this is Terence McKenna talks about this too. About these we've kind of thrown aside whatever most of the mythologies that our ancestors have created about the nature of this reality in favor of a scientific and more rational approach to looking at things. And Terence McKenna, and I think Jordan Peterson brings this up too. It says, maybe there was something more that these people knew. Actually, yeah, Jordan Peterson absolutely does. I don't know why I didn't think of. He makes an argument about, why is the Bible true? And it's like, he makes the argument that we look at this story of the Garden of Eden, that these themes of the snake and the apple and women, like he explains these themes in here, and it's like he reads through the story and he kind of explains this is why it could be true on a much larger, more accurate reality scale. The reason why, like the path to wisdom or seeing the truth, it would be through snakes and apples. And the reason why we have really good eyesight, physical eyesight, is because we evolved in areas where there were poisonous predatory snakes, and to be able to see colored, or to be able to find fruit, you have to see color. So we developed that adaptation, perhaps. And there's some argument that he pulls out. They did a study by a woman who showed that that primates in areas where there are poisonous predatory snakes, that they have better eyesight, particularly in the peripherals. The peripheral vision is more accurate or something. I don't know how they test it and look into this study, but he says that a woman found that that was true, that primates in areas did have better eyesight than ones without predatory snakes. And I don't know where his argument is that that's how we evolved with we evolved colored sight to find ripe fruit. I don't know. It makes sense in a way, right? But how do we know unless we go back to it? Couldn't tell you. But he's saying, well, this is this true story. So why did they tell this story that is still true now? And see, this is a very convoluted argument. I really encourage you to listen to more of what he has to say to get more in depth. I'm just kind of giving you a brief pass over. He says, well, yeah, why, if are they really that dumb? Because we've experienced this life here. Humans have been around for hundreds of thousands a year, maybe millions. It seems kind of interesting that we would kind of let go of what we've learned over trial and error and all these things just for these methods, the scientific method and rational inquiry. I don't I don't know what I could tell you with that. To me, it seems like, these are pretty useful tools. But then I also wonder, because I've had some interesting experiences with psychedelics, and it kind of makes me wonder: is there more to this reality than just Nick material? The matter here is this how I existed? I'm just a monkey that through years and years of mutations and adaptations my species has become self-aware, and this is why I'm able to do this. We don't know. I mean, it's interesting. That's one explanation, but we don't know. There's a lot more to this world that we can explain, and with my experiences on psychedelics, it really seems like there is more than just me in here. It's not just the material goods that are Nick. I can't explain to you the experience or really why I feel that, but because of what I've experienced, not what I've come to rational inquiry or the scientific method through my own mental faculties and perhaps the help of other outside beings, or other outside chemicals, whatever you want to call it, man. Whatever happened there, I don't know. It seems like it's not just Nick. It seems like we have souls, that we have, or something that is like part of God to me. How did I get here? but that changes a lot, right? So if that is true, if what I'm now believe is true, then it changes quite a bit. And that there might be something that we are supposed to do here on Earth. And to me, at this point, I can't tell you anything more. I don't know. It really makes sense to me that you can't figure it out using logic. There's no way to do it, and through that, you really can't prove anything. Like, I can have an idea of what I believe, what I've experienced. I do believe there's like some sort of afterlife, that this is not my death limit, or my limit of existence is whenever I die. I believe that we carry on, and I like this viewpoint more than existentialism. I like this idea of, I was placed here for a reason, and there's something else after this whole existence. There's more to reality than this dimension in this area that I'm looking at. It's much more complicated, perhaps. And I think really the only way you could experience that, through, at least the only way I have been able to experience that, is through hallucinogenic drugs. Fuck people telling you that you just see colors and whatnot, and you chase dragons. Nah, man, you meet God. Just kidding. But I don't know. Does that make any sense? So, okay. So yeah, you see what I mean? Like, maybe. So I've explained the if there is no God, if there is no inherent meaning, here's what you do. Now I'm kind of trying to ask the question of, well, what if there is God? What if there is inherent meaning? What if there is more to you than just being an individual? What if there is more to you than this existence that we like? That's all we really know from living here, is just that. And then I'm also asking the questions: Are psychedelics a way to get out of this existence? This reality? Not, I want to say this existence, but be able to look at this existence from a different viewpoint of it not being the only thing there is. It's interesting to look at these things, and we can make the argument that I'm, I went crazy or whatever, that I'm making stuff up. That through, what my mind is making stuff up to tell me whatever it is. I don't know. We can explore the ideas of what do psychedelics do to the brain, and what was the experiences what were the experiences that I truly had there, and are they a reflection of this reality, or are they just a reflection of my crazy fucked up imagination? I don't know, but it didn't seem like it. I know the things that I have created with my imagination. I've done a lot of exploration of my mind and the way I think. I have many tools at my hand. For whatever reason, it really seemed like what happened was real, that I experienced another entity that was not physically there, and separately God. It's weird. It's a weird thing to say, and I almost hate to say it on my own show, but does this, I'm trying to, I want to stop talking about it and change the subject now. Does that change the meaning of life now? Honestly, I don't think so. That's the funny thing about this. It really comes down to making life better for yourself. Either way, it doesn't matter whether there is inherent meaning in the world, or if there is God. To me, it's like I can't really communicate with God or that mushroom spirit without taking mushrooms to figure out more, if that's potentially what I can do. For now, I'm stuck with, okay, that happened, and I'm kind of wondering, do I even need to explore this anymore? Because I got an answer that just makes sense either way. So philosophically, we come down to, let's make life better for ourselves through interacting with these emotions, doing things that are that make us feel good. And what are those things? We can spell them out, but I won't here. We've talked about it before. either way, it's like the same things, except like with there is a God, it's like connect to God. Connect to the if there's ancestor spirits, it's connect to the ancestor spirits. It's all these different things. Like, it just adds more to it. If you want to make life, if you want to make it more complicated than just, nihilist existentialism. So that's I hope that made sense. I hope I didn't trail you down a weird road just to tell you, hey, just be nice to people and do cool shit. But that's where I'm at. And I guess really what I believe is what's most important is to start with yourself. If you want to make life better, start with yourself. Make yourself better. I have a hard time like standing on or talking on this microphone like I figured out something about life, because this is what I talk about is figuring out life and the things I've learned. And I have a hesitation to do that, to tell people who most people listen to my show are much older than me. I have a hesitation to tell you guys this is what this is what I figured out. And I don't know, for you, like I wonder, like, do I expect people to believe me? Or for this to make sense at my young age? I don't know. My views change all the time, but I don't know. If it makes sense, it makes sense. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's really what it comes down to. I hope this made sense. But yeah, I want to start with. I forgot where I was going right when I first started talking about it. I want to say, like, start with yourself. It helps to. Right. Where am I going? I remember where this all comes back. Sometimes I just have to loop myself, and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the path. The neural pathway has to be ran again, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, start with yourself. Make life better for yourself. Figure out what does make life better. Understand yourself. Like, figure out what makes you feel good. What makes you feel sad. Avoid those things, and try to find the things that make you happier. Do the things you want to do. Help people out. Be cool to each other. That's it. Like, to me, that's it. As I'm just here to enjoy life and do cool shit. No matter what, if there is an afterlife or not. Like, that's what it comes down to is, are you going to enjoy this life? Or, do you want to enjoy this life? Most of your answers are going to be yes. Then, okay, figure out how. And then do it. And for me, the way I figured it out is, like I like working with people. I like having something bigger than me to work on. I say start with yourself, but I think eventually once you have some mastery and you've kind of figured out, okay, I've done mostly of what I can in my mind to do. The groundwork of making myself happy. I've done enough here. Now it's kind of time to go out. There is a time to go out and say, okay, I'm going to help other people. And I think I'm at that point. I've done a lot of self-exploration. I think I haven't figured out everything I want to. I haven't figured out everything maybe I need to keep going and to keep prospering. But the part of the thing I learned on the mushroom experience is, here's the meaning of life. Here you go. Stop looking. Because it doesn't matter. Either way, it's do cool shit and help people. It's have fun and make life better for everything around you. That's it. Like, that's, if you want a way to happiness, that's what it is. And it's like inherently, if you're making life better, then life is going to be better. Like, that's it. Make life better. How do you do that? Well, you learn, you explore that. And like, to me, it's like, yeah, having healthy and beneficial relationships, having something to do that you enjoy to occupy your time. And for me, like, what that has to be is either something that's entertaining and is inherently fun, or is building up to something that is that I want. Like, I have goals, I have kind of projects, I have these ideas that I'm going for, and doing those things hits the triggers, the emotional triggers that are good, right? It's the reward system that you have inherently. Play that award system, and you can do it by passively by finding a technology that or a drug that fulfills all of those neurotransmitters or whatever the fuck they are. I don't know how it works. Or you can actively go out and try, and you can try hard, and you can struggle with it, because you will. It's not going to be easy. Just because you're trying to make life better doesn't mean it will get better. You have to be good at it. You know, you can't be saying you're trying to make life better and then be hitting people with your car. That's stupid. That's just an extreme way. If you're not doing it the right way, then you're going to be upset, and you are at times not going to do it the right way, because you're not a perfect human being, and that's fine. That's part of this existence. Is the nature of it is that we're limited. We don't have complete knowledge. We don't have complete power, and we don't have complete life. We don't have complete anything. We're yeah, man. That's what it comes down to for me. And yeah, whether or not you believe in God, I hope that you can find some sort of meaning in life. And if you are having trouble for whatever reason, reach out. I'm a somewhat busy person. And I don't always answer like messages and texts I get, but if it's something that that sparks my interest like this, I would be interested in hearing what is your story of trying to find existential meaning or something to do with your life. How are you doing with it? And yeah, do you have any help or do you have any advice? Throw it at me, guys. I'd like to have a conversation with anybody having this podcast. Like it's cool for me to get to be able to put out my thoughts like this. Like this morning I was reading somebody's Instagram post about how they weren't happy with life or something, and that's just what got me down. It's like, it's great that I can that I have the opportunity to get on this mic and just spout the bullshit that I come up with in the morning, but really I'd like to hear from you. This is like part of like I'm making life great. Like it's not just that I get to have an outlet, it's that I get to interact with other people, and I like that. But part of being a social creature on this planet, one of the reward systems is to be around the reward system. One of the things it does is it rewards us for cooperating and being together. There's obviously times for being alone and having quiet contemplation, but there's absolutely time for enjoying each other's presence and working together to figure out this thing. Because I was listening to like Terrence McKenna, and he like adds like maybe there is a little bit more than just make life better. It's like, you know, we're trying to conquer the whole dimension and spread life everywhere, you know, and that's an interesting thought. But I'm not sure how you prove that. Maybe you have to do as many mushrooms as that guy has done. But if we're going to find out, then we kind of have to work together. So we might as well, folks. We might as well. So with that, that's it. That's all I've got for you. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it wasn't too like esoteric and weird. I hope that I'm able to be understood. And thank you. Yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for all those that support me on Patreon. If you enjoy work like this, consider going to my Patreon page and pledging $1 or $2. You get, I think I have like, I might have a couple posts. I have some interesting things up there, and I do plan on releasing more. I have a lot of untouched audio on my Zoom recorder, my mobile recorder that I recorded that probably will not make it out to this public feed, but will probably make it on the Patreon. Because truth is, guys, I'm probably a crazy person. Just kidding. I don't think I'm a crazy person, but I say some wild stuff that most people probably would be like, "What the hell?" And I probably said some wild stuff in here that people are like, "What the hell?" The thing about like, yeah, experiencing God and stuff, whatever. Yeah, I absolutely embrace that. I have different viewpoints than other people, and I've had some experiences, and I've gone down different intellectual paths than most people probably ever will touch, and that has led to me being maybe not eccentric, but I say some weird shit sometimes. So I don't release it out to the public. I tell you guys that I say weird shit, but I won't tell you what it is. I can't think of like anything specific actually, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, if you would like to see those, you can go to patreon.com/ that's just yeah, I forget what it was. Patreon.com/ just Yakkin. That's Patreon. patreon.com/JUSTYAKKIN, patreon.com/just Yakkin. If you'd like to reach out to me, hit me up, yakkinwithnick@gmail.com. That's YAKKIN with Nick. It's the title of the show, guys. Wherever you're listening, you gotta be able to fucking find that. Unless it's like on the radio or something. Probably not with that swear word. Anyway, or you can go to Facebook. This link will be in the show notes, as well as Patreon link. But go join my feedback group on Facebook. It's the Yakkin with Nick feedback group. That's one place you can reach out to me. Yeah, you can email me. You can hit me up on Facebook. You can hit me up on Instagram. Leave a comment on the site, just yakkin.libsyn.com. Yeah, guys, I plan on being back and releasing regular content, and I hope you will enjoy. Bye.